find a link in the description box and in the pinned post from the original source. Please pay attention.
The anti-gunners wouldn't use protests and a virus to work towards gun control, would they? Stick by and watch this episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. You know, I watch a lot of headlines, I read a lot of articles, follow up on a lot of cities after major incidents, and I'll tell you, maybe you don't need me to tell you this, but one thing that has been readily apparent with the coronavirus pandemic and now into the protests and or riots and looting is just how much the country, the government, wants control of its people. Let me try to explain what I mean. This is the first time in history where we have ever quarantined the healthy people, not the sick people. It's the first time we've ever forced people indoors for 2 months, causing them to lose their livelihoods, their jobs, sometimes their businesses. People were forced to let loved ones die all alone without any people around them. Weddings were canceled. All kinds of things happened. You insert them here. And one thing that, if you look around and you do a little research, you will see a drastic difference between the amount of coronavirus cases and deaths in the Democrat-controlled areas and or states versus Republican-controlled areas and or states. How can that happen? Is it a virus that just attacks people who vote Democrat? Mostly? No, that's not how it happens. Is it a virus that just attacks those who are clustered close together? Yes, but no. We've seen lots of major areas in the Midwest and towards the West that don't have the amounts of numbers that are, or cases that...
I still don't know anybody within a 1 degree separation who has this illness. Nobody. In Canada or the Netherlands or here in Southern California, for that matter.
Are being reported in places like New York, Massachusetts, etc. Now, as I go into what I'm thinking about here, I had a little conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and they asked me, what do you really think is going on behind this the coronavirus and the protests? What do you think the government is going to do? Should we be on the lookout? And what I told them, almost word for word, was what I really think is happening is they're going to use these in combination. Now that people are protesting, rioting, and looting, it almost appears as though they're going to wait until somebody or situations get so bad where somebody has to defend themselves with the Second Amendment. And then, because everybody's already emotionally crazy at the moment, they're going to harp on that and really come after the guns full bore. Because, you can't go killing people to save yourself. You can't do that. And that's what I really think that they're waiting for. And when you start to look at things analytically, you get rid of the emotion part of it, you see things like this on Fox News. And you can see here, it says, health experts support anti-police protests. And I believe, if I remember now, it's been 2 days since I put this up, but there were somewhere around 1,200 health professionals that signed their name to this stuff. And you can see what it says. It says, quote, as public health advocates, we do not condemn these gatherings as risky for COVID-19 transmission. And what they're talking about are the protests that, sometimes they stay peaceful, but they also, some of them turn violent and turn into protests and turn into rioting. But you see that there's thousands and thousands of people in the street.
And I still can't get my hair cut.
Some people wearing masks, some not. But this is okay. This is considered an exemption. This is okay. They're not risky for COVID-19 transmission. However, back to the slide, this should not be confused with a permissive stance on all gatherings, particularly protests against stay-home orders. So it's okay to group in hundreds and thousands to come out against, the situation where George Floyd died, was killed, but It's not okay for those same groups of people, even in smaller groups, to group together and say, this is ridiculous, you can't keep us in our home. Really? Think of the hypocrisy of that. It is all about control. So you can go in by the hundreds and loot a store, but you can't go shop in the store. You can be in a sea of people shoulder to shoulder to protest, but high school seniors can't have graduations. Do you see how hypocritical this is? And then I started digging a little deeper, looking around the country for information, and I found some things that I expected, and they're kind of disturbing, which is why I'm bringing them out. The anti-gunners are using these protests and the virus as an excuse for more gun control. Case in point, there was an article in Pennsylvania, and I'll paraphrase it for you, but this is what it said. It said, in Pennsylvania, with the amount of stress caused by the coronavirus pandemic, combined with the proliferation of new gun ownership, it is alarming. The Pennsylvania background check system has already crashed 2 times recently due to the surge in gun sales. Because many of these owners are first-time gun buyers, we need to push for universal background checks. And the bills that were in Pennsylvania were HB 673 and SB 88, and red flag bills, HB 1075 and SB 90, and child access to firearms, which is the lock it up unless it's on you. You know, you can't have it by your bedstand and your nightstand and stuff like that. And there were 3 bills on that: HB 525, SB 137, and SB 138. Now, before I go on with the other things I found, let me remind you that nothing in the timeline leading up to the George Floyd incident, nothing during, and nothing in the aftermath has had anything to do with firearms. Nothing. However, because more people are buying them because they see their cities burning down and they know that my life means something and I have this right and I'm going to use it, because more people are doing that and thinking for themselves, getting off the systemic style of thinking, the Democrats and the anti-gunners are freaking out right now. So, it's all about control. You can go out to these protests, that's fine, we're with you, but don't go out for anything else. Oh no, you can't do that. You're going to try to reel everybody back in and get control of their voting base. Then there was this piece in the Rome Sentinel in California. This came out Thursday, June 4th. 3 paragraphs. I'll read it real quick to you, but pay attention to it. You can see exactly what they're trying to do, and it's what I'm saying. The United States today is reeling from violence. First from police against African American citizens in Minneapolis, and then from the community's response. Few can look at the video of a Minneapolis policeman kneeling on the neck of a handcuffed man for over 8 minutes and not be appalled. If this was an isolated event, the policeman could be arrested and convicted, mind you, he was arrested, and removed from society with little outrage beyond the dead man's immediate family. But this is not an unusual event, and black deaths at the hands of police happen way too often. I'm not getting into all this stuff, I'm just reading this. Thousands are protesting around the world over this event, and significant damage has been done in the United States to both government and private property. But it could be worse. Listen, what if demonstrators took advantage of their Second Amendment rights and went armed to these protests? Think back to 1967 when the Black Panthers marched into the California State House, carrying loaded weapons in accordance with California's laws. Ronald Reagan was the governor, and California quickly enacted state gun control laws to prevent this from reoccurring. Many states today have open carry laws, and many also allow concealed weapons. I wonder if those who promote these laws have thought through how these laws could be used by protesters to arm and protect themselves. We need effective gun control now more than ever. This is Mike Corbett from Rome. Well, Mike Corbett, you're an idiot, because you actually think that of the 3,000 people who are protesting, that none of them are carrying their weapons legally and lawfully? Or some of them carry illegally? You really think that's not happening? Do you really think that the rioters aren't arming themselves, whether it's a firearm, a brick, a knife, whatever? What you should be saying, Mr. Anti-Gunner, is the citizens should be carrying their weapons to protect themselves and others when it comes to harm or of being killed. That's exactly what should be happening. Because I guarantee you this, that if someone was attacking another individual, or you see the videos of people getting attacked while they're in wheelchairs because they're trying to protect businesses and stuff like that, getting punched and beaten and hit with bricks, that shit wouldn't happen if more people took safety of the community more paramount. So you can see they're already going to the what if to try to reel in more gun control. What if these people did what they're allowed to do? What could have happened? Well, what if my uncle had boobs, he'd be my aunt? What if? It's ridiculous. You can't go through life with what ifs, you bunch of cowards. And then we go into what happened in the last 24 hours in Las Vegas. There were protests. It's kind of what's becoming now. There were protests and riots that were taking place. And one of them, one of the protesters was shot in the face, in the cheek, and another one, a police officer, a police officer shot a man because he showed up at the courthouse in body armor and had weapons. And I don't know this for a fact, but from what I'm reading, it appeared as the police confronted him and he went to go grab a gun. He was shot. So now what Clark County is have to do because of this, because of one incident, we have to do something to affect everybody, is they're thinking about banning guns on the Strip. Not just banning guns, they want to ban like large backpacks and strollers at demonstrations, and similar things to include purses. Now the problem that they're going to run into these lily-livered cowards, Nevada has preemption laws, so they're going to have issues trying to get this through, but they're trying to think of creative ways to ban things on the Strip during certain times or events. Now I don't know if anybody watching has been to SHOT Show. Everybody in SHOT Show, everybody, and there's like 60,000 people that go to it, everybody wears a large backpack, and everybody walks the Strip. If they're going to eat, going to grab something to drink, or even after the event, they're wearing backpacks. Are they going to ban backpacks during SHOT Show because it's a show about firearms? All because one person decided to be an ass, really? They're going to jump in and try to take control. So I've ranted long enough, but I just want everybody to know that while we're being distracted with all of the fuzz of what's going on, there are people working behind the scenes to go after the guns even more, and they're picking and choosing. Oh, that guy acted an ass, so we're going to ban this because of him. Or this lady over here said these mean things, and what if she was carrying a gun? If she was doing it, what if we have to ban stuff for that? And don't forget that, the Hillary Clinton trials are going on, and the Podesta stuff is being talked about right now, and the Obamagate stuff's going on. So pay attention to everything. Just don't focus on what the media talks about. If you are interested more in stuff like this, please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets. This is where you're going to find this type of information, because that's all I do is research.
Best channel on the internet for your Second Amendment news.
But I do that for you. So please subscribe to the channel. And if you are a member of the channel, I've been getting a lot of people saying that, hey, man, they're not telling me when you put out new stuff. I put out a picture on Instagram. My numbers have been suppressed by 40% across the board here. So I need you, the viewers, to help me. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the videos you watch. It makes a huge difference, and it takes you 1/8 of a second. And if you would also share it with more people so they can see it and tell them to do the same thing, hit the thumbs up. It's the small things that we hear in videos. People say, hey, please like, subscribe, and share. And we're like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's like everybody says it. It really, really helps the creator when you do that. So please consider doing that here. It would mean a lot. It will help a lot. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Thank you for your time, and have a great Sunday. Take care.